and let us all do we can to build a better future.
You do have to move on to our next story because this is an environmental disaster that's in the making. And look, I like my fair share of science fiction and horror movies, but I mean, if there's ever a scenario where a Godzilla-like situation is happening, I really wish Japan would not do this, because it's right now being reported Japan's plan to contaminate Pacific Ocean with Fukushima water would violate international law. In a decision that sparked condemnation from environmental advocates, fisherfolk, and neighboring countries, Japan announced Tuesday a plan to dump over 1.2 million tons of stored contaminated wastewater from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant into the Pacific Ocean. The decision made by Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga's cabinet gives Tokyo Electric Power Company the green light to release the Fukushima wastewater into the sea just over a decade after one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. Discharges won't begin for 2 years as TEPCO prepares for a process that is expected to take decades. Greenpeace said in a statement that the decision, which has long been contemplated but delayed due to strong public opposition, is a violation of international maritime law that completely disregards the human rights and interests of the people in Fukushima, wider Japan, and the Asian Pacific region. Again, Japanese government, come on, you should know better. This is a dangerous material, and why gamble putting toxic radioactive water into the ocean? Don't do it.
And they're literally just going like, the easiest thing to do.
Yes.
Cheapest thing to do. It's what we're going to do. We don't know what to do.
I have a few other quotes. The Japanese government has once again failed the people of Fukushima, says Kazusuke, climate and energy campaigner at Greenpeace Japan. The government has taken a wholly unjustified decision to deliberately contaminate the Pacific Ocean with radioactive waste.
And that affects everyone's water.
Everyone. All of us. Even here in the United States, Canada, Mexico.
If you eat fish, they're now going to be slightly more radioactive than they were before because Japan made a decision about something they did.
Right. Also, polling data from Greenpeace Japan has shown a majority of residents in Fukushima and throughout Japan object to the release of contaminated wastewater into the Pacific Ocean. The nationwide Federation of Japan Fisheries Cooperatives in particular is completely opposed to the sea discharges because, again, there's a lot of fishermen, both large companies and private entrepreneurs as well, who use the ocean. I mean, let's face it. Do you really want to buy radioactive fish? The answer is no. No one wants to do that.
You know what's really ironic about this? They've been collecting radioactive water because ostensibly, I guess the only reason you would collect radioactive water is to do something with it and deal with it safely. Because otherwise, it actually might have been safer just to like a stream of low-level radiation hit the ocean, then just go, yeah, we'll just dump it all in at once. That makes sense. Because otherwise, what's the point of even doing it in the first place? You've just temporarily stored radioactive water that was going to go in the ocean anyway.
So here, I actually have an official statement from the Associated Press. The plant's operator, Tokyo Electric Power Company, and government officials say tritium, I hope I'm saying that correctly, tritium, which is not harmful in small amounts, cannot be removed from the water, but all other selected radionuclides can be reduced to reasonable levels. Some scientists say the long-term impact of maritime life from low-dose exposure to such large volumes of water is unknown.
We haven't tested it.
Government stresses the water safety, calling it treated, not radioactive. Oh, we've heard that in Indiana before.
Tritium.
Tritium. Thank you. Even though radionuclides can only be reduced to disposable levels, not to zero, the amount of radioactive material that would remain in the water is unknown. So why take the risk? Here, look, I'm going to throw something out there. If it gets people upset, I'm sorry. Hey, Elon Musk, on the off chance you're seeing this, build a rocket and let's shoot that radioactive water into space, okay? There.
It's a lot of water. It
is a lot of water, but Elon, there you go. Have at it, buddy.
Can you remind me how much they actually have? How many tons of water?
It's a lot, buddy.
Yeah.
It's a lot from that power plant.
It's a lot to get into space.
Well, look, Daniel, it's better than the alternative.
I have an idea for Japan. How about you drill a nice deep hole into Mount Fuji and put it there?
No, let's not do that because I want to climb Mount Fuji. Okay.
Oh, well, Kit has a personal
reason to do it. I have a personal reason for like no, come on. I think my space option might be the best one.
No, because it's a lot. That's like 3,000 rocket trips.
You know what? It'll be fun.
It'll be a global humanity for
moment.
More rockets to go into space. and be disposed of by flying into the sun than have ever been launched to space before.
Hey, humans have done crazy stuff before.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing this. Come on.
You know what? I think that we should all put this water in Kit's house. I think that's less crazy.
You know what? Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Hey, buy your radioactive water here. Watch, there'll be somebody who'll be like, hey, I'll buy a whole gallon of that.
Yeah, it's like, look, this is like, again, it's Japan. And someone I think mentioned earlier, tritium has a very quick half-life. Just hold on to it for like 50 years.
There you go. Also, I want to acknowledge a YouTube super chat that's related to this story. War Deer Entertainment, $5. The radiated water will mix with the giant garbage patch and the area of the Pacific Ocean the size of Texas. Godzilla will be real. In fact, check out Shin Godzilla. I mean, that's exactly how that movie started.
Right now, we're at this spot where we're like, okay, how do we make that? And Japan's like, I really want to make a Godzilla. How do I do it?
Yeah.
How do I do it?
There we go.
It's stupid. Again, my point is like, if they're going to let it go, if they're doing it because they've already treated the other radioactive ice, it's like, just hold on to it till the tritium gets weaker over time. I don't get why you have to dump it in now.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, it's cheaper. You don't have to maintain it, but that shouldn't be how you determine radioactive waste.
Yeah. So government, I guess right now, people of Japan, all the activists, people there, no matter what part of Japan you live in, should be speaking out against this reckless decision.
And to their credit, they are.
And yeah, well, yeah, the people are. The people are. That's very clear. Yeah, the people and activists, especially the people in Fukushima, are speaking out. I think this should be a whole nation movement, but also an international movement to tell the Japanese government, don't dump that damn water into the ocean.
I want everyone to find Japan if they do, because it's whatever. I just want to say the last thing from James Root, who makes, I think, a fantastic point. As long as those rockets aren't made by Boeing, we should be good.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment. Before we do, Roger Metals, $5. Never forget, we're the ones who introduced Japan to radioactivity. Karmic, but space is the best option. Oh, somebody believes in that. And also,
you have to throw it in the sun.
Also, this person, Richard Smith, Kit Cabello. Do you guys think the bombing of Hiroshima was morally justified? No. I visited the Peace Museum in Japan in January of 2020, and walking through that museum, it will take a lot out of you, and it was not justified. It was not right. No one should have gone through it. Hearing the stories, seeing the artifacts from that disaster, it will remain with you. And I do plan on going back to that museum again, and also visiting the Nagasaki Museum as well. Mm-hmm. I think humanity should remember just how devastating these weapons of mass destruction that we have pointed at each other are. It's stupid that we have them pointed at each other. No one should ever go through something like that. So I hope that answers your question. And I know there's going to be people typing in the comments saying, well, the war would have gone on long. It doesn't matter. Look, that weapon and what it did,
if the this would be an interesting Patreon conversation. Yeah. I would like to talk, but we don't have time right now.
No. All right. Yeah. Sorry. That question really got to me. Again, that museum, and just being in Hiroshima as well. Just real quick. I was actually, when we were on tour, checking out the museum when I was on vacation in Japan, we actually visited the center where the bomb was dropped. Mm-hmm. And inside the building, there was a flower growing and a little cat there too.
That's good.
Life does go on.
They were pretty